let's start by looking at the keepers first. Here are the top 6 performing keepers for last month. So, as with all of these, you'll have the stats on the left-hand side and the fan votes on the right, and one name jumps off the page. Emiliano Martinez, top of both, and Nick Pope in second on both as well. So, keeper. Eni, who's your standout keeper for the month of December, would you say?
It's that man, Martinez. I think the fans have spoken, the stats speak. I think Villa had a really good run of clean sheets. I think it was 4 games. Obviously, they've just recently lost against Man United, but they've had a really good, sort of solid defensive performances, and Martinez has been part of that. And one thing I do love is he's a goalkeeper that wears short sleeves.
I love that.
That's cool,
what I like about him, yeah.
It's like a throwback
in December as well.
In December, it's like man's not cold, you know. It's like, you know, I rate that. It's a bit like, you know, throwback to Bartes.
Fabian Bartes. Yeah,
I agree with Eni. I mean, he's had amazing performances and he's been a standout keeper for them throughout the whole season. Even a game against United, he was amazing, and it was just a tough game for them to win anyway. But I think coming from Arsenal, he's done an amazing job to be a #1 keeper at Villa as well. He's been very, very important in their position right now. And I think he's a great leader from the back as well. So, great keeper.
He's a great signing for a position that was a bit of a problem for the team.
Yeah, we can have a little look at a comparison between him and Nick Pope. So worth pointing out as well, Nick Pope has had a good month. So this is a comparison. As you can see, they've played the same amount of minutes. Saves edged by Martinez, 29 to 24. Goals conceded, both only conceding 3. Save percentage is 90.6 for Martinez, and that is the best save percentage of any keeper that's played more than 1 game in this period. He's also got the most clean sheets in the Premier League this season with 8 clean sheets. 4 clean sheets in the month, 3 for Pope. But you're both in agreement that, as well as Pope's played, Martinez is our first player.
Fans know it, we know it. I think it's a unanimous decision.
OK,
really.
Unanimous decision, easy start. Let's have a look at the next area, which is the centre-backs and the players that are dominating in this area. As you can see, Wesley Fofana edges it statistically, 10,906, just ahead of Yerry Mina. But the fans think Kurt Zouma and Yannick Vestergaard have been the standout players. Who have you been impressed with this month?
It's tough. Like you said, it hasn't been like a standout centre-back, but I've been very impressed by Harry Maguire. I think...
Is that because you're a Man United fan?
No, not that.
And his name's Harry.
I mean, look, you guys are speaking for me. You know, I'm just doing what I've got to do. But no, for real, I think he's had it was a very tough start to the season for United. And obviously, when we're conceding goals, we always look at the goalkeeper, we look at the defenders. And I think Ollie's done a great job of, you know, trying to see which defensive partnership works for us. And I think he's been involved in, I think, pretty much every game so far this season. And he is our captain, and he's shown very good leadership skills. I've seen the way he's passing out from the back. It looks very comfortable whenever we want to come out of the back. And I think with Bailly as well, that's a very, very good defensive partnership.
Do you agree with Harry Maguire making this team of the month, Eni?
Yeah, I mean, Harry Maguire, I think, you know, I think there's better centre-backs out there that could play for a team like Man United. But I think given the fact that Man United have been so inconsistent and sort of had a bad run, now they're in a good run, it takes a good leader to get the players to perform, and he is that. But my sort of favourite in this so far is Wesley Fofana.
Yeah, really good player. He's such a young player. I think he's only 20 years of age.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, to be a centre-back in the Premier League at such a young age is tough. Like, you've got to have the experience, the wisdom, the bravery, really. And I think he's another gem that Leicester have found. That, you know, maybe other clubs didn't sort of see him, but I really like the fact he's such a young defender and he's sort of tough tackler, interceptions.
I think he's got a great career ahead of him. However,
go on.
We've got to put Harry there because, I mean, Harry is potentially going to lead us to the Premier League.
OK,
so Harry Maguire and Fofana.
Yeah. I see Harry Maguire doing this end of the season.
What's that, lifting the Premier League title?
That's what I see him doing.
How confident are you that Harry Maguire lifts the Premier League title?
I'm ever so confident that I've been tweeting about it. I've been talking about it. I'm here saying it.
So you think it's Man United are going to win the Premier League?
It's so messed up in terms of the consistency of teams that Man United have been so consistent that it's gone under the radar and it's like, oh, whatever, we're waiting for the other teams to get ready. By the time everyone's ready, we're gone.
He's very confident, isn't he? So those are the 2 centre-backs. Let's move it on to the full-back areas and see which players have been dominating in this area. As you can see, statistically, Stuart Dallas out in front, 11,770 points. João Cancelo and James Justin there as well. But the fans think that Aaron Cresswell, Kyle Walker-Peters and Ben Chilwell have been impressive. Eni, who's the standout full-back, would you say, for you this month?
Mine is Kieran Tierney. I think that he is what Arsenal fans have been looking for a long time. That player that's grit, determination, hunger. He's so consistent. I think we associate Arsenal with silky, technical players, luxury players. Yeah. But, this is a Scottish warrior, that's playing for the badge.
I think he was a bit tentative in the beginning because the form wasn't really going well for Arsenal. But in the last few games, he's just been outrageous. He's scored, he's assisted, he's put amazing balls into the box. And this is what Arsenal have been needing, that threat attackingly on the left-hand side. But also defensively, he's been great as well. Yeah. So for me, it's a no-brainer to put Kerouac.
Yeah, played every minute of Arsenal's 7 games in this period, got a goal and an assist. Great goal as well against West Brom. So he's in the team. So that's the left-back sorted out. Right-back, Eni. Who is Upa in the right-back slot?
I think I'm going to go for Matty Cash.
OK.
I think he's very consistent. Again, another signing for Villa that maybe hasn't had the sort of, profile of a Ollie Watkins or a Traore. But he's been a really consistent signing. His chance creation's pretty up there as well. So, yeah, I like him.
So, Cash, for you, do you agree with that one, or are you going to put another name?
I mean, I don't like disagreeing with Eni. She knows her stuff.
Yeah,
but
you're going
to. I've got to disagree. I'm going to go with Kyle Walker-Peters.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because beginning of the season, we saw it was very difficult for him to play in a team where he hasn't, played a lot of games with. But he's been outrageous this season for me. I think he's been very, very good defensively. He's closed down a lot of attacks, and he also works really well with Walker. I'm seeing them do a lot of stuff on the wing together, whether it's overlapping, and we're seeing a confident player. I mean, doing himself the best justice.
It's an interesting debate, that, and I think we need to look at some stats to try and come to a decision, shall we say, on these two. So let's have a look at the comparison. Walker-Peters has played a couple more games than Matty Cash, as can be seen there from the minutes played. Clean sheets, Kyle Walker-Peters edges it 4-3, and recoveries and duels 1. Kyle Walker-Peters edges all of that, but crosses, corners, chances created and assists, Matty Cash edges. So it goes to show Matty Cash maybe a bit more productive going forward, but Kyle Walker-Peters more productive defensively. So it depends what you want from your team here.
As much as I like defensive players, I'm just going to give it to Eni.
OK, so Eni has defeated Harry with the first statistical argument of the day, so Matty Cash makes it in. Let's have a reminder of the team so far. Here it is.
But I won't be like that later.
So, Emi Martinez in goal, another Villa player. Matty Cash just edging Kyle Walker-Peters out in the right-back slot. Fofana and Maguire in the centre-back positions, and Kieran Tierney, who they both agreed on at left-back. So that is the team so far. Let's have a look at the midfield areas. Once again, we can have a look at the players that dominate statistically and what you guys at home think as well. So here we go. Tomas Soucek's been in great form, hasn't he, for West Ham? 17,128 points, dominates the power rankings. Just ahead of Bruno Fernandes, James Maddison, and then a couple of players that regularly feature on the show, Jack Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne. In terms of what the fans think, Bruno is ahead with the average vote, just ahead of Kevin De Bruyne, who again features in both, and Tomas Soucek. So, Harry, who is your first choice midfielder? As if I don't know, my friend.
Bruno Fernandes, a.k.a. Bruno Fernandes. Look, you see him, yeah? I want to change my son's name to Fernandes or Bruno. I told my missus, I don't care which one you want to pick one of them, because he's been that influential. I haven't seen a player come to Manchester United and change the atmosphere of the club in terms of performances. He's such a forward-thinking player. We've missed that. We've missed a player who is a leader on the pitch, doesn't need to talk too much. His performances does everything. And we can just see by the amount of times he scores a goal or assists in a game, it's kind of like it's going to happen anyway. And that's the the vibes of a good player, a world-class player, if you ask me.
You can take a look at just how good he has been, Harry. I know that you will love looking at this radar. Now, for those who don't know how radars work, obviously, the more the outer limit, the better that the performance is. So this is Bruno Fernandes in 2020 against all attacking midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues. So what this shows is all the ones on the outer limit, so final third passes completed, assists, chances created, goals scored from open play, penalties scored. He is at the top of his game, the best performing in Europe. I mean, Eni, this is pretty impressive, isn't it? He is on fire at the minute, isn't he?
And he hit the ground running from the start.
Yeah, good point.
It's not like he's sort of taking his time. He had an impact from the very beginning when he joined this time last year. So, incredible player for Man United. I think, as Harry said, if he can bring silverware that takes him to another level. Because we know at Man United, the players that are held in high regard are the ones that have won trophies for the club.
Yeah, he's in both your teams, so we can move on from that. Next player, Eni, who would you like to see in this team?
I really like Soucek.
Soucek?
Yeah, I think he has had a huge impact on West Ham. You know, I think 4 goals in 7 games. And, you know, he's a big guy, probably the tallest.
He's very tall, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very tall, and he's got that sort of Frank Lampard-esque ability to sort of get to the box late and score. So
is Soucek in your team, Harry?
Do you know what? I picked Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay.
And the reason why I picked Kevin De Bruyne is because the quality he has in that team is second to none. He's always involved in the play. I know he hasn't been as prolific as he's been previous seasons, but we saw in the last few games that he has been very, very influential. However, when you think of Soucek and what he's done for West Ham defensively as well, he's closed up a lot of stuff. And also, like you said, he has that ability to come forward. So if I was to judge it based off this month, I'd 100% say Soucek, because he has been very, very influential for West Ham. And when I look at them, I think if anyone's going to be a good player in that team, it's going to be you.
Well, let's have a look at a comparison. Firstly, you can see the heat map, and as you can see, Kevin De Bruyne, as we know, plays a lot more further forward. He's played in a variety of roles for Man City this season, whereas Soucek, more of a defensive midfielder. Soucek, a little bit of a comparison, has played more minutes, but he's got double the amount of goals, despite the fact he's been playing more defensively. But Kevin De Bruyne edges it with assists. Chances created, De Bruyne way out in front there. Passes completed, not a lot in it, but De Bruyne edges it. Duels won and aerials won. Soucek edging that. He's played every minute of West Ham's 7 games, and he scored 4 of West Ham's 7 goals in that period. So who's won the argument?
Well, I think given the fact he's a defensive midfielder and he scored more goals than De Bruyne, I mean, that's impressive.
Harry?
Them aerial duels are nuts. 40.
Well, he's cheating a little bit. No, he's the tallest
he
man in the
he is massive. I know we can just.
Are you conceding defeat then? You're happy to go with Soucek?
Do you know what? When I lose, I need to know that I'm winning at the same time. And I feel like in the situation I am, I think, we'll go with Soucek because those aerial duels and the fact that he scored more than Kevin De Bruyne.
OK, so Soucek's in, Fernandes in, one other midfielder. Who would you like to see join those two, Eni?
Well, it's got to be Saka. I think Saka for Arsenal is their best player at the moment in time. You know, we know Arsenal sort of, you know, there's been jokes going about being part of a relegation battle, but they're on their way back up. You know, they've won the last 3. Certainly, had a good month, and he's been part of all of that in terms of chances of creating, scoring goals. So, yeah, you know, I think Saka's really influential for such a young player. I know his family quite well. I like him a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. You know, I know when he was a bit younger in the academy, I remember speaking to his family at the time when I was at Chelsea and doing really well, and they sort of asked me about my routine, and I used to suffer with cramps, and I told them that I had this routine where I'd soak in a magnesium bath the day before a game, and I gave them that tip. And Bukayo started doing the same thing.
Did he? Brilliant.
And I think he's flown ever since. So
he's never had an injury since because of your tip?
He's never had that
Any
problem.
tips for me?
He's never had that problem with cramps. So
love that.
You know, I'm definitely taking credit for that.
Yeah, to take credit. Very quickly, Harry, Saka, agree with that?
I mean, arguably Arsenal's best signing for years. I think he's just been amazing. I know he's come from the youth academy, but to be actually an integral part of the first team, goals, assists, he's passing his... What position does he even play? Left back,
very versatile,
striker if he wanted to, and I think that talent that he's got is second to none. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's have a reminder of the team so far. Then, now that the midfield area has been established, so here it is. The 3 players joining the back line are Fernandes, Soucek, and Saka. Very, very strong midfield there. Now, all that is left to do is to establish the 3 forward players, the goal scorers, so to speak. So let's have a reminder of the players that are top of the charts. So here we can see Marcus Rashford doing great things, isn't he, on and off the pitch. Statistically out in front with 17,294 points, just ahead of Mo Salah and El Ghazi as well. Son and Kane and Bertrand Traore also in there. But the fans think Jamie Vardy has edged it. Salah also there, Son there as well. Bamford, Zaha and Rashford completing the list. So Harry, who has been your standout forward for the month, would you say?
Marcus Rashford. Sorry, Sir Marcus Rashford. Let's get it right, MBE in that. Yeah, I think he's been very, very good for us. involved in a lot of the goals, a lot of our chances. It's coming through Rashford on the left. I think he's finally found a bit of rhythm right now. And I'm telling you, we haven't seen the best of Rashford. He's still a young player. But I think he's in a team right now where he knows he's very, very important. And he's been scoring and he's been integral. I mean, if you look at any of the games we play, he's either scored or assisted or been part of the team. And I think he's finally getting into that stage where he knows that if anyone's going to play good, it has to be him or it has to be Bruno, and I think they're our leading players at the moment.
Yeah, 5 goals, which is the joint most in this period alongside Salah and El Ghazi, as we said, doing great things on the pitch, off the pitch. Is he a shoo-in for your team as well, Eni?
It's difficult to argue against Marcus Rashford. I mean, what a guy.
Yeah.
And those stats back it up. You know, this month, 5 goals is impressive in a period there's so many games.
Yeah.
And to even stay fit, you know, to stay fresh as a forward player it's tough. And he's definitely been part of that resurgence for Man United.
Yeah, Man United picked up the most points during this period. Harry just wanted me to remind everyone
Sorry, what
about
was that
that. They picked up the most points in this period that we're referring to. So he's in. Eni, who else would you like to see in this team?
It's Superman Son.
Superman Son.
Yeah, I really think he's one of the best players in the world. For
one of the best players in world football for you?
For me, yeah. I think he's got everything. And he's obviously scored that amazing goal in the derby against Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know, you can't not like him. He plays football with a smile on his face. And obviously got that amazing partnership with Kane as well. Yeah,
3 goals and 3 assists in this period. Scored a 100th goal for Tottenham, and he scored that great goal against Arsenal as well. Great relationship with Harry Kane. Is Son in your team, Harry?
100%. I agree with Eni.
Agreeing on a lot, you two.
Yeah, do you know what it is? When you have a football brain, I'm not a football player. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't play for England, Chelsea and stuff, but got the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? But I agree with Eni. I think when you look at Son, you're looking at a complete player. I mean, for me, he's one of the best wingers in the league, one of the best players in the league.
Who's your third forward, Eni?
It's Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, Harry?
Jamie Vardy.
Oh, OK, so interesting one
What was
here.
that?
Yeah, what was that
Vardy.
accent? Not sure where he's from, but that accent was from. But anyway, we can have a little look at a comparison between these two then, because this is an interesting one. 2 top players, as we know. Firstly, we've got these are the pass maps that you can see. Vardy on the left, Kane on the right. As you can see, 2 very clinical and effective strikers, as we know, but very big difference here. This shows that Vardy plays very centrally and obviously very attacking, but as you can see from the right-hand side, Kane has been dropping a lot deeper and almost playing in that number 10 role, providing that link-up play with Son. In terms of minutes played, very similar. Vardy just edging it in terms of minutes. They've both scored 3 goals. Kane has had more shots on target, but Vardy's had more assists. Chances created, Vardy edges it. Passes completed, Kane edges it. Duels won, Kane edges it. So I don't know if a lot of these stats have helped make your mind up, but these ones...
This is mad.
They don't help you, do they, these stats?
This is mad.
This is really tough.
They're 2 elite players, elite strikers, crazy finishers. And I think with Harry Kane, he's adapted his game very differently to what we've previously known him to be, just up front striker. He's dropping deep, he's contributing. We can see he's had, 3 chances created and 2 assists. So he's really, really doing well. But it's just something about Vardy, the age that he's at, the fact that he's just, you know, he hasn't been in the Premier League that long, already a Premier League winner, and for me, arguably one of the greatest finishers we've ever seen in Premier League history.
Ever for you?
Ever.
Yeah.
You think of Jamie Vardy as a runner, always on the shoulder, you know, giving defenders a nightmare. But actually, chances created there are higher than Kane, who has changed his game. He's dropped deeper. You'd expect his chance created to be higher. So that's impressive to have that chance creation for Vardy. Something that he probably doesn't get enough credit for. That sort of how tactical he is. A lot of the time as well, if he's stretching the back 4, there's a pocket that opens up and then the midfielder scores. So you've seen Barnes get a lot of goals for Leicester. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm changing my mind a little bit.
Are you? So Harry's one that has persuaded you with
it's so hard with
to
those
go with Jamie
stats
Vardy?
because, I mean, Harry Kane's Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And he's got that partnership with Son. But Vardy... I was similar to Vardy. You know, I was a runner, I was fast, I was, you know, play on the back shoulder, so...
Well, let's have a reminder then. That is it, the complete team. We can have a look at the team of the month. Here it is, Martinez in goal, Cash, Fofana, Maguire and Tierney in the back, and then midfield 3 of Fernandes, Soucek and Saka, and then that front 3, a lot of goals in that front 3, isn't there? Rashford, Vardy and Son. So Harry Kane, last month, narrowly missed out. Last month, if you remember, between Tim Cahill and Akinfenwa on that show, he narrowly misses out again. Those are the front 3. So all that's left is to crown our King of the Month. Eni, I'm going to come to you first because I think I know what Harry's going to say. So what would you like? Who would you like to see your King of the Month?
I mean, I'm a big fan, as I said, of Superman Son, but I think you cannot deny, you know, with a Man United fan sitting next to me here, you cannot deny the influence with them being joint. Bruno Fernandes.
Look at his smile. Go on, Harry.
Can't.
I want to cry. That's how emotional this is to me, man. Literally, Eni, you're the greatest person in the world. Because Bruno Fernandes, if he wasn't selected as Player of the Month, I would have left because it would have been a disgrace. Yeah, it's a disgrace. Remember Drogba? But for me, I just think what he's done this season and what he's doing, especially this month, it's just phenomenal. You kind of hope your player is going to do that, and when he actually does it, and he's so like humble with when he talks about it's a team thing, and I'm going to do my job. And I think as a leader, he does that on the field, and I think
For me, it's just
unanimous.
about Man United keeping it up now.
Yeah.
You know,
No, we're going to win the league.
It's just like consistency with Man United.
Look,
it's
Eni, you have to understand, yeah. I've suffered for a long time, wanting my team to be in and around. And look, the form table says we're doing really well. We've got a game against Burnley, which I feel like we will be so up for it because Liverpool dropped points as well. And I think if we can just do our job and not really care too much about what the media says, because that's what really sometimes can mess up a title challenge, I think we'll be good. And we've got a strong bench as well. So
there we go. So Bruno Fernandes is crowned King of the Month. Congratulations to him. That is sadly all we have time for. Big thanks to Eni Aluko and to Harry Pinero. Thank you both for coming on the show. We'll be back very soon. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.